bookworms! Today I'm here with Cassie for our next Spines with Wine book club. Today we're going to be talking about The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. And we have a lot to talk about. So Cassie, why don't you start with your intro and synopsis and wine and tell us what you're reading. And
there's everything. So much.
I know, you have to remember it all.
What should we start with?
Start with your name and your wine.
Okay. I'll do name, wine, currently reading, then you can go, and then I'll do the synopsis. Yes. Guys, we're so prepared today.
Just figure things out while we do this.
Yeah, that's why I do it ahead of time. Mm-hmm. I actually went to a new liquor store and bought like the craziest, quirkiest wine. It's in the shape of a cat.
That is awesome.
It's kind of creepy though because this eye is like off center and it kind of forms the butt, which is weird, but it's super cute. And it is a Riesling. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think it's German. I don't know. I can't read anything on this label.
Yes, Riesling is a German wine.
Also back by popular request, my kitten Ginny, who's somewhere, she'll show up. But I got her some more Apollo Creek White Kittendel. Yeah, and I got her a nice big bottle so she can drink that over the next few shows.
Passed out again at the end.
Yeah, last time Chris and I ended up talking for like 5 hours after our live show, and the kitten just was passed out the entire time. She binged on cat wine. Mm-hmm. Okay, which brings us to what I'm reading, which is very exciting. Krista knows where this is going.
I know, I'm so jealous.
I'm sorry. So look what I found at Target, because some dumb person doesn't understand rules and put it on the shelf, and I went there and bought it, and they almost didn't let me have it, but then the person checking me out was like a new teen who didn't know how anything works, so he just put it in as like random merchandise and bought it, gave it to me. And I have 250 pages left, and it's really, really good, and I can't wait for it to come out so that we can talk about it.
I know, me too. I cannot wait to read that.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing because I'm like, oh, I can't talk to anyone about it.
There are a lot of people online that are already reading and talking about it.
Yeah, they all seem to be in Canada and England.
Yeah, I've seen other people get it from Targets though too. Except mine just will not sell it to me, even though it was physically in my hands.
Which is the worst thing they could have done to you.
I know, it was.
If they just kept it in the back, that would have been different.
I know, it was the actual worst, but I don't want to talk about it because we get sad again.
That's what I'm reading. Sorry.
So, okay. So I am drinking another rosé called Rose Infini. And I got this one because it has a rose and it's like love, because this book is like all about love. And also I just love rosé, especially now that it's like almost summer. Mm-hmm. And I am currently reading a book that is so far away. So I can't.
Use your powers. Use your telekinesis.
I can't. It's too heavy. I'm reading A Court of Mist and Fury because I'm just like in the middle of rereading it so that I'll be like all set for when I finally have my copy of A Court of Wings and Ruin.
Oh my god, did I not tell you everyone died in it already? There's like no one left.
Oh, I believe it.
Yep, everyone's dead. Tamlin's the main character now.
Oh god, could you
He killed everyone and now he's the main character. It's a real weird turn.
Yeah. Okay, so now you can tell us the synopsis of The Upside of Unrequited.
Okay, before we get into that, reminder for everyone watching this, if you have any questions during the show, use the hashtag #SpinesWithWines on Twitter, and I will try to keep up with my feed and answer your questions, which is something we used to do and we completely forgot about. So we're going to try to do it again.
And we also have a Goodreads group. That's where you can find out what book that we're reading if you don't like catch it at the end of the live show. And also you can see all the past books that we've read and you can join our group. And we're going to try to have like more discussions there too. And that's linked down below. And so is the hashtag too, in case you want to chat at all during the show. So now you can tell us the synopsis.
Okay. I finally remembered the name of this book because if anyone watched the end of last week's live show where we were both incredibly intoxicated, I could not say it. The Upside of Unrequited. Yes.
Good job.
So it's kind of vaguely a companion novel to Simon and the Homo Sapiens. This is happening again. Simon and the Homo Sapiens Agenda.
Versus Sorry.
Damn it, Kristen, what is
Jedi.
that book? Because there's a crossover character, but it's mostly about this girl Molly. She's had 26 crushes her entire life, but never kind of acted on it. So she's never had a first kiss. She's never gone through that. So she's kind of dealing with that. Meanwhile, her twin fraternal sister, Cassie, great name, by the way, has her first girlfriend, and she's kind of feeling like left out and alone. And Cassie's trying to set her up with this cute hipster guy named Will. Those are my cats. I apologize. But she started working at a store and is also falling for a cute nerdy boy who loves Lord of the Rings. So she's kind of stuck in this sort of love triangle type situation.
It's so good.
Is that good?
Good job. Okay, so the upside of Unrequited basically wins like the diversity lottery because there are so many different groups that are represented in this book, and they're just done so well. But what types of people were you the happiest to see represented?
I always like to see a little lady on lady and man on man love. So that was pretty cute. I like that she had two moms, which was pretty neat, and they each had, you know, their own children separately through donors. And I liked that it was all the same donor, which was pretty interesting. So they just had like the cutest little family, Molly and Cassie, to me.
I agree. I really love their family. And also, like with that, I thought that it was really good how they pointed out that like there are some people that are so insensitive about it, and they're like they insist that the little brother is their half brother, and they're like, no, he's our brother. Like we are a family, and that is life. So get over it, because it is true. Like your family doesn't necessarily mean that you just are blood related. Family is the people that you grew up with, the people that are raising you, like the people that are there for you. So I thought their family was just the best. And I also really liked seeing a Jewish love interest and main character, because I feel like I've not read anything with like Jewish people unless it's in relation to the Holocaust, like a historical type book. Usually they're not represented, and I have so many friends who are Jewish, so it was just nice to like see that.
I appreciated that. I also liked, just to bump in here, there's a part where she's like, you know, when you meet another Jewish person, it's like, yeah. I felt strongly with that because I do that. I'm like, oh, yeah, Jew party.
Did you feel like the inclusion of all of the different groups were natural?
That is such an interesting question, because I feel like people are like, every time, you know, a sitcom or something has a gay character, or, you know, racial minority or a trans person, someone's like, oh, that's so strange. They're just kind of, you know, shoehorning it in there. But I know a lot of bisexual people and gay people, and that's just, the world is just a, you know, a melting pot of different ethnicities and races, and it's strange when it's an all white cast and all straight cast. So no, I did not feel that way.
Yeah, I thought that it was perfectly done, because it was also done in a way where the things that made people diverse was not their character. It was just who they were, but they were still a fully fleshed out character with their own like thoughts and feelings. And it wasn't like, oh, your cat's there. It wasn't like, you know, someone's whole identity is that they are Jewish or black or whatever. Like they were just people.
And they didn't just show up to, you know, be comic relief or anything. They had like a purpose in the story.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't plot devices. Like they were just the people that you see all around every day.
You know, when you go out in the world and there's people who don't look like you, how strange. What a strange concept.
Did you like Molly's narration of the story?
Oh my God, I love Molly. I wanted to like reach through this book and pull her out and like hug her and be her friend. She was so cute, even with like all her insecurities, which just like made me love her even more. She's like an adorable little cinnamon roll.
I agree. I loved her so much. She is probably like one of my favorite main characters that I've read from in like a really long time, because just everything that she was thinking, I felt like was so real. And she was just so like cute and adorable. And I just love everything about her. She was so sweet.
And she was so, like, real. From, like, page, like, I don't know, like 1 or 2, I was like, I want to be your friend. You're, like, this real person. Like, if I met you on the street, like, you'd be,
Yep. Did you think that her portrayal of, like, her insecurities would have resonated with you when you were 17?
Oh, my God. So much. I hated middle school. I thought was horrible. High school, slightly better, but still horrible. So, like, just this fact of her being like, no one likes me, and you have all these feelings and hormones, and it brought me back. But, like, in a good way, not, like, in a bad, oh, God way. But it also reminded me that I wouldn't go back to high school for, like, $1 million.
I had a lot of fun in high school. I liked it a lot, but I am so much happier now and, like, so much happier with the people in my life now. But I thought that it was so accurate. Just the little things that she would think, like how, you know, if you're, like, next to a boy and then you feel like you just have all these feelings, you're, like, super hyper aware of your body and, like, things that people are definitely not thinking about, but it's your own insecurity. So you're just like, everyone is thinking about this and everyone notices. So I really appreciated that. I thought that was, like, so accurate. Like, I think there was one scene where she was sitting, I think she was with Will, and she was, like, sitting down and she's like, oh my God, like, she's just thinking about, like, the waistband of her pants, like, digging into her stomach, and she's like, they know, and, like, it's just, I just want to be like, oh my God, like, that's just so not important, and, like, everything, it gets better. Just hold out there.
Well, I read in the author description that she was she still is a clinical psychologist, which I found really interesting. So I'm like, oh, this is how she, like, gets into people's heads and, like, writes characters, like, so well. She, like, kind of has that.
That makes sense. And she must do it for teenagers because she is, like, amazing at writing teenagers.
Oh yeah, none of that, no offense, John Green, but none of that John Green dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, like, so real. Like, they actually, so I said this, I just filmed my wrap-up video and this is in there, but every single time that I've been thinking about this book, I always think of them as people, and then I'm like, no, characters, like, they're not real people, but they just feel so real that it's hard to, like, not realize that they're fiction. Okay, so now, very important question. Were you Team Will or Team Reed?
Oh my God, Team Reed. The second he showed up on that page, I wore my Morador shirt in support of you, Team Reed. He was just so cute. He was, like, nerdy, and I liked how she was like, he's pretty cute. His ridiculous white sneakers. But they just had, like, the way she had such a rapport with him, and she, like, felt immediately comfortable in his presence, and she's, like, never felt like that with another boy. I was like, oh my God, if these two don't end up together, I'm throwing this book in the fire. I don't even have a fire. I was going to throw it in any fire I could find.
Make a fire to throw it in.
Start a fire in the middle of my apartment, throw the book into it, done. Worth it.
I also was definitely Team Reed. Like, from the minute that he appeared, I was like, oh my gosh, there is this adorable boy in a Middle Earth shirt. So I'm already sold. And then he started professing his love of Cadbury Mini Eggs.
I knew that part. I was like, Chris is going to love this part.
I love those so much. And I do the same thing as him. I seriously, like, once Cadbury Mini Eggs come out in the store, I buy so many bags of them. And I love them. I eat them all the time. For Easter, like, when I was younger too, my mom would literally just give me, like, 10 bags of Cadbury Mini Eggs. Yes. And she still does. Like, she still gives me so many of them.
Like, Kristen doesn't need a rabbit. We'll just give her these eggs.
I just love them so much. So he had both of those two things, like, right off the bat going for him. And then he was just so cool. Like, she was like, oh, he's, like, kind of weird. But everything that she was like,
I know. I was like, I'd be friends with him.
So cool. Like, I love that he was really into, like, Ren fairs. I was like, okay, like, this sounds like the most awesome guy ever.
You're a perfect match. Why are you worried?
Yeah, like, it was so funny. And it's funny because obviously in high school, like, there are, I mean, hopefully not anymore. I think it's come a long way since we were in high school, but there were, like, those stigmas against things like that. But they're so cool. And they're so much fun. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to hang out with someone who's, like, interesting and does fun?
Right? Ren fairs are great. You go, you can dress up, There's booze everywhere, really great booze with meat in it.
Yep.
Sword fights.
Yep. Acrobats with fire.
So much food.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. When we went, so I went to the Ren Fair for the first time ever this past summer, and we got cheesecake on a stick dipped in chocolate.
That sounds good. I never had that there.
Just like, I felt like we were just eating the whole day, and it was so great. So yeah, I was also very, very team Reed. What was your favorite relationship that was explored in the upside of Unrequited? Because there were quite a few that she went into.
I'm always a fan of a female friendship, and there were so many female friendships in this book. So I liked that, like, Olivia was there, and they were like in-person friends. It was also interesting to see that dynamic with Abby. It was like long distance, and I loved how they had all their little inside jokes. Like, they would text each other like emoji, like underused emojis, just to make those emojis feel like they had meaning. Like floppy disk. Like, who's gonna use the floppy disk emoji?
No one.
I wish there was a beeper emoji, but knowing her target audience, I understand why she stayed away from beeper.
That's fair. I really liked, I normally love like the friendship stuff too, but in this book, I particularly loved the family dynamic. I thought it was so like perfect how both of their moms were constantly like talking to the girls about everything that was going on and like trying to find out their feelings and like explain to them, you know, how sometimes things might seem bad, but they'll get better. And like, they were just always
birth control.
Yeah, they were just really great parents. And they were fun, and they weren't like trying to be their friend too much, but they did have that relationship where like they could joke with each other and they were like friendly, but then like when it came down to it, they were still moms about certain things like alcohol. And I just thought it was done so perfectly, because I love seeing families in YA, because I mean, there's more of it now, but in the past it was always like either your family is dead or your family like messed you up beyond belief. And it's so nice to just see like a happy family.
Your dad is evil and your mom has been murdered, and or you're an orphan, or
so you actually kind of said it, but how did you feel about the inclusion of social media and texting?
Oh, I think it's so much fun. I mean, obviously it dates the book, unfortunately, but even in television shows now, I think it's really prevalent when they bring that in, because it is such a part of like modern culture. So if you're writing a contemporary book, you have to have it. And I think it was a really subtle way they did it with the slightly different font.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
I kind of wish they would have shoved like an actual emoji in there, though. It was kind of funny to read it out.
Like a couple.
No. I don't know. They were always written out when I was reading them.
Okay. Maybe it was in the acknowledgments.
Oh, maybe.
Or maybe it was another book that I read at the same time.
Okay. That's possible. I saw they wrote them out, and I was like, oh, it'd be cute if, like, you're going to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, I could swear that I saw.
I could be wrong. I'm often wrong.
So am I. I would not put it past me.
As women, we could admit that.
Okay, no, it wasn't in here. Then it was. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think it was in the acknowledgments of I Believe in a Thing Called Love, because I finished that like around the same time.
Oh, okay.
But
I like how you put yourself in front of that blue shelf for your blue book.
I wish I could say that was on purpose, but this is just the spot that I sit in.
You're supposed to say, I totally did it on purpose.
I did wear a blue shirt, though, because I thought.
Okay.
So I really liked it. I don't really think that it dates a book, because I don't think that texting is something that's ever going to go away, unless
800 years from now, when we're talking telepathically in our flying cars.
Well, I honestly don't know if we're going to make it that far in the future.
Us personally, I don't know. Oh, you mean the human species? We have like a week left.
I mean, both, yeah. So I don't think that it dates a book. I think that texting is something that is very prevalent. Like, there are older books and stuff where people write letters to each other, and I don't feel like that dates a book. I think that texting is such an integral part of life. Like, it's something that everyone does many, many times per day.
Even my 85-year-old aunt sends me emojis.
That too. Like, literally everyone, no matter what your age is, like, you're chances are you're texting. So I appreciated that because I always think it's weird when it's not included in a contemporary book because like that's how
it's contemporary.
Yeah, it just like that is how life is now. So I liked that they did that. And then I also really liked how Molly was really upset that she found out about Cassie on Facebook, because that is also something that happens to people, like not necessarily your sister or whatever, but like a lot of people will find out things about people that are close to them over social media. And it's so weird, like to see that people would share things there first, but I'm sure that we've all experienced it. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really good because I've never seen that happen in a book before. And also Pinterest was like a huge.
Oh yeah, they loved, and I was like, I get it.
Pinterest is like a black hole, and you're just like, I want to make that and that and that. And Molly was actually really crafty, and she just.
Oh my god, the mason jars! I could imagine like. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that pin with the mason jar painted over, and it's like an ombre. Yeah, I've seen that.
And I really loved that that she incorporated all of Molly's love of like crafty things into creating like all of the decor for her mom's wedding. That was amazing. So who was your favorite side character?
I know I read these questions and I was supposed to think of answers. You go first.
You're breaking the cycle. Usually I go second.
I know. I'm just saying to give me time to remember.
I know. I'm trying to think because it's really hard to pick because like really everyone was really great.
Wait, I got it. Racist grandma.
Oh, that's actually who I was going to say too.
Racist grandma.
I loved her grandma Betty. She was awesome.
And it's like, they're like, Grandma, you can't say that word anymore. She's like, why not?
Yeah, like
I love my gay daughter. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I know, like she was really cute because she really like she was constantly making an effort to like be supportive, even though she just didn't understand certain things, but like she thought that she was doing a good thing. It wasn't like she was maliciously.
Yeah. She like probably liked that Obama was president but didn't vote for him, you know?
I think like, yeah, I feel like she is somebody that probably represents a lot of like older people in our lives that like we've had firsthand experiences with. So I thought that was really funny because like, and it was really cute that they would like correct her and be like, you can't say that, like you can't say this. And
then she learns at the end. She like gets it. That touching moment at the end with her, and oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
So cute, racist grandma.
Is there any character that you wanted more of?
I kind of want to learn more about Will's friend Max, just because he's, I don't know, I felt like he could have been a giant douche, but I couldn't quite figure it out if he was a dick or not, you know? I never got enough to make that determination.
He was the one character that was like part of it because he was part of the group, but you really didn't get much information about him.
Like, I don't know anything. He's cute. He's like really good looking. And he's a hipster. That's all I got, really.
Yeah. Yeah, his storyline was kind of lacking. What was your favorite Simon versus the Homo Sapiens agenda cameo?
Oh, definitely Simon. And the fact that they were arguing about like which Hogwarts house Abby belonged in. She's like, I don't know, like Hufflepuff or something.
He's like, oh God, Abby, you're just embarrassing yourself so much. I was like, you are so Simon. Like,
because she's like Hufflepuff, I don't know.
I thought that was so perfect. And I also loved that Simon and Molly, like both immediately were like Gryffindor. Yeah. Like, they both knew. I thought that was my favorite too. I
was like, oh, we could have a third book where everyone's just hanging out and being friends.
Oh, I thought it was so great that in such a short scene Becky was able to include Simon, and he was so Simon. It wasn't just like a cameo that could have been anyone. Like, just like even his mannerisms and stuff, I was just like, wow, like, yep, there's Simon.
It was Wolverine in Days of Future Past. No, what was the first when Wolverine shows up in X-Men First Class and they go to him in the bar and he just says fuck off and that's it. It was like that. was like, perfect.
It was.
It's just like that.
That was amazing. I was so happy about that inclusion, and I kind of wish that I wouldn't have known beforehand that there was going to be a cameo.
Were you waiting for it?
Yeah, because I was like, I had heard other people say like, it's not a spoiler, but there's a Simon cameo. Not Simon necessarily, but Simon versus Homo Sapiens Agenda cameo. So I was wondering who it was going to be. I mean, I assumed that Abby would be in it because she's related to them, but just like, I think if I wouldn't have known that Simon would have been there, I would have been like even more excited. But I loved it.
Started like freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, I was already freaking out. Okay, Cadbury Mini Eggs or eggless cookie dough?
I have never had a Cadbury Mini Egg. I've had a Cadbury full-size egg, and I'm not really a fan of that filling. It's just too much.
There's no filling.
I know, but it's just like a chocolate circle then. Like, how is it different than
Oh. Cadbury Mini Eggs are amazing. So picture an M&M, but picture better chocolate.
Okay.
Picture a shell that is like...
Wait, they have a shell?
Yeah, they have a shell, and they're sugary, but it's like, it's not like an M&M shell where it's like shiny. It's like a more like sugary kind of shell. But
like
there's
a matte kind of granulated shell?
Yeah, sort of. But there's a higher chocolate to shell ratio. It's literally the best thing you will ever put in your mouth.
Okay.
I promise. I did not know this about you, and I feel like I need to buy you Cadbury Mini Eggs so that you
Well, it's too late now. Easter just ended.
No, I'm sure that I can find them.
Okay. So I'm team eggless cookie dough, but I still love cookie dough with egg in it, and I'm gonna freaking eat that, and I don't care, which makes me remember that I want to go to that cookie dough shop in New York.
Oh my god, I want to go there too. We should plan another brunch so that we could go after.
The last time Chris and I went to brunch, we both decided we needed taiyaki in New York, and we both decided that's what we were definitely doing, and it happened, so we're gonna knock everything off our list.
And we found people with lightsabers, and they for some reason let us borrow them to take photos. It was really fun.
Going back through my semi-drunken memory that night, one of us yeah, you're right, it was in the middle of the afternoon. One of us was just like, can we play with our lightsabers? And they're like, okay. That happened.
That was an interesting, fun, spontaneous thing. And one of them gave me their card because apparently they're like part of like a rogue association.
Like a rogue lightsaber association?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Rogue Alliance, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But
so they're fictional characters. We met fictional characters. I don't.
No, for real. But anyway, I can very easily say Cadbury Mini Eggs. Like,
I didn't see that coming.
I know, I'm sure no one did, but they're my favorite thing in the world.
I was just so happy for you that was in the book because I was like, Kristen's gonna love this, and they kept mentioning it. I know. And every time I was like, this is Kristen's favorite scene. Every time they mentioned Cadbury Mini Eggs.
I love them. I don't know, it was earlier this week, I think. I had I opened my last bag of Cadbury Mini Eggs, and I was so sad.
And you sobbed.
I was like, these are our last Cadbury Mini Eggs forever. And Andrew was like, no, we're going to get them next year. And I was like, that's literally like forever away. But then he reminded me that peppermint Oreos are coming, and I felt a little bit
better. And what, like December?
I know.
We have to do all the pumpkin first.
It's already May. Christmas is going to be here before you know it.
It's not May. It's April 30th.
Yeah, it's May tomorrow.
It's gonna be May.
Oh, we're gonna see that meme everywhere.
Yeah, do it.
So during their big fight, were you more Team Molly or Team Cassie?
I was 100% Team Molly because, I don't know, she's just so cute. Cassie like kind of graded me a little bit. As wonderful and beautiful as her name is, I at sometimes was like, I think she's being a little irrational. She should have told her sister that she had a girlfriend. She didn't have to find out on Facebook. And then to be upset that her parents knew about Reed before she did was like, it's a little pot calling the kettle black there, young lady.
Yep.
Team Cassie.
Team Molly.
Team Molly. Team me.
I was also Team Molly. I thought that So Cassie was like a really outspoken kind of character. So I think that some of the things that she said to Molly were very insensitive, but it's because like she doesn't really have a filter. She's just very stream of consciousness and like says whatever comes into her mind. And I think that Molly understands that, which is why it wasn't like a longer issue and like something that Molly couldn't get over. But there were certain things that she said to her that just really like rubbed me the wrong way. And like even just saying that, you know, like she knows that Molly's had all of these unrequited crushes in her past, and then she tells her like that she just doesn't understand because she's never had a boyfriend before, and like stuff like that. I thought that was really insensitive.
And just the fact that she spent like the majority of the book just trying to like force this relationship, just to like be like, well, I'm in a relationship, so you should be in a relationship, and it should be with this guy, even though you obviously have like no real interest in him.
Yeah,
that also really bothered me.
Yeah, it was like Molly made it pretty clear from the beginning that she didn't have any interest in him. Like she thought that he was good looking and she thought that someone like him could never be interested in her. But Cassie kept trying to like push the two of them together, and Molly was never like, this is what I want. Like Cassie was more like, this is what I want.
We got you Will's phone number, and she's like,
yeah. like why? And then poor Molly was also having to like wonder, did Cassie tell him that I like him? Like, is there, you know, like it was just unnecessary stress for her when it wasn't someone that
is everything gonna be awkward? Like after I left, is she gonna be like, my sister has such a crush on you, hee hee hee?
Yeah, like it was so, I felt so bad for her that she was like pushed into that. Yeah. Anyway, what was your favorite scene?
Okay. So I thought long and hard about this because there were a lot of scenes I loved. Like I loved all the cute texting.
Me too. I hope you pick a different scene than my favorite scene.
Wait, what?
I hope you pick a different scene than my favorite scene.
I'm worried I'm going to pick the same one as you.
Now I am too.
Top favorite scene, just because we lived through it.
Yeah,
when Supreme Court said gay marriage was legal across the entire United States, and it just brought me back to like that day, personally. And then when they drove by the White House and it was all lit up in the pride colors, and it just made me miss Obama, and I just got really emotional. And it was just like so, like I just remember that day, and we spent I did social media for a moving portal thing. And I remember everyone was complaining all the bigots on social media were saying they were going to move to Canada. So we started sending them links to move to Canada. And that's how we spent our day because we were just so excited.
Yeah.
I had a feeling when I was like, Kristen's going to pick this scene too.
Actually, mine is slightly different.
Okay.
Still in the same vein.
Okay.
So my favorite scene was when Molly was like really upset and she wasn't able to sleep. And then one of her moms, I can't remember if it was Patty or Nadine, but I think it was Nadine, like saw her up, or maybe it was Patty, I don't know. One of them like saw her awake and was like, come with me, let's go for a drive. And Molly was like, it's the middle of the night, like where are you trying to take me? And she was like, just get in the car, just come with me. So in like both of them full in their pajamas, just got in the car, went for a little drive, and drove to the White House and saw it all lit up with the rainbow colors. And I think it was Nadine. And she was like, I just really wanted to see this in person. And it just made Molly feel better. Like she just knew what to do to get her kind of out of the funk that she was in that night. And I just thought that was like a really sweet and precious moment. So yes, I loved that that Becky Albertalli made this a world where like this happened and it's legal everywhere, and like it was so exciting. But I really liked that one like special moment between the mom and daughter seeing it together. And also I think Nadine said in it too, like, you know, it's so like powerful because it's this one thing that's affecting so many people, but it's also like affecting us personally. And I just loved that. I thought that was so great.
So cute.
What was your least favorite scene?
If I had a least favorite scene, some of them were obviously harder to deal with than others because they were sad.
Yeah.
So sad. Like, I guess the most inner embarrassing scene for me was they're getting in like that, Reed and Molly are talking because she's like so upset because she thinks Reed and Olivia are like a thing, and she realizes she's falling for him. So she's having this incredibly awkward conversation where she's kind of like punishing him and like being really curt and like rude with him. And he's like, "Can we talk?" And I'm like, "Oh God, this is so." And if I was her in high school, I would have never picked up that phone.
I know, that was really.
I was like, "Why are you picking it up? What are you doing?"
My least favorite scene was also when when Molly thought that Olivia and Reed were seeing each other, she texts Will and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Want to hang out?" Because she's like really upset and really vulnerable, and obviously that was like a terrible decision. So that just killed me. Like, it was nice that they actually hung out together and they like talked and stuff, but then there was this really horribly awkward moment where they were in the gazebo together.
Oh God, ugh.
Molly like went to kiss him because she was like she had been so pressured into like trying to make this happen. So I think if it wasn't for like Cassie and Mina trying to push the two of them together, like she never would have done anything like this. But she thought that all of like everyone in her life has paired off, everyone's in this couple and she's all alone, and you know they're trying to make this happen, so she may as well just go for it. So she like leans in to kiss Will, and then Will is kind of like, "Whoa, like, you know, I think that you're really great, but I have actually been in love with Mina this whole time." So that was just like, and it was also like really hard because Molly obviously loves Reed. So she was just doing it like out of spite. She didn't really want to kiss Will, and if that would have been her first kiss, I would have felt like really bad for her.
It would have been such a jip.
Yeah. Not that like the first kiss is like the be all and end all of things, but
fiction.
She just
held it to a higher standard than real life.
She had an opportunity to like have a really great first kiss with this person that she cares about so much, and then she was like making a really bad choice because of something that wasn't even the case. So that was my least favorite scene, because like I get why it had to happen, but I was just like, "No, Molly, like, no, don't do this." I was just cringing.
I know you're full of hormones and emotions, but stop.
Yeah.
You'll regret this one day. You'll be laying awake in bed at 4 a.m., can't sleep, thinking about all the mistakes you made.
Who were your favorite character and your least favorite character?
Favorite character? Reed, because Team Reed. Oh, but I love Molly so much too. Can I like combine them?
Yes.
Mead.
Because I want to.
Mead was my favorite character. That's Molly Reed. Mead.
Which is perfect for the Red Bear.
Yes. Least favorite. No, I don't think I had anyone I really hated. Oh, that gross drunk guy at the party who had no name.
He did suck, yeah.
He sucked.
Yeah.
And he did that thing that, you know, is just so horrible. Where he's like,
"Oh, it was so infuriating."
Like, and he said it in the worst way. Like, you can, like, I've heard, you know, she pointed out a few times because she's overweight. She hears, like, "You have such a beautiful face," which means, like, if you were thin, you'd be so beautiful, which is, like, really the worst thing you could say. But he says instead, you know, "You're really pretty for, like, a big girl," or something. And I was like, oh, my God, this guy.
Yeah. I loved that Molly stood up to him.
I know. She's like, "Fuck yeah."
Cool. I was, as soon as he said that, I was just like, no, like, you did not say that.
And he had that whole, like, I don't know why it was a compliment. It's like, it is not a compliment.
Yeah. Oh, he was the worst. Now I almost want to change my answer, because my favorite is also Molly / Reed. If I had to choose the two of them, I think I would choose Reed, because I just really loved him. But
he's just so nice.
He is. He's like so perfect. But my original least favorite answer, until I remembered that moment that I blocked from my memory,
so bad you blocked it out,
is Aunt Karen.
I forgot about Aunt Karen, though.
Yeah, she would not come to the mom's wedding because she didn't like believe in two women getting married, and it was just like, you're really like not gonna go to your sister's wedding.
Own sister.
Yeah, that I just like, she's horrible. She was so terrible.
She did show up, though.
She did show up, but beforehand I was like,
yeah. That's still probably a bad person inside.
Yeah. And it was nice that she acknowledged that she was wrong and that she owed Nadine an apology.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, before you mentioned that terrible drunk guy, she was my least favorite because I forgot him. But he was definitely worse because at least she was like trying to redeem herself at the end.
Yeah, that guy probably learned absolutely nothing from that situation. Just went home and told all his friends about like this rude girl at a party. He was just trying to pay a real nice compliment to. Man, women are so sensitive these days.
Yeah.
You can't even catcall them without getting upset.
So I didn't have this in the questions, but another important thing that I really liked that was touched upon was Becky talked about how Molly had anxiety and she was taking Zoloft, and when Molly would be out in these like social situations, she would have to think about how like alcohol would interact with her medicine, because that is something that a lot of people face. And it's really never, I don't think I've ever read anything where someone has tried to consider that in like a situation. So I thought that was really interesting. And I really appreciated the inclusion of that.
And Cassie was really horrible about it, because there was a point where she like, well, you can drive home. She's like, no, but I've been drinking and, you know, I really shouldn't mix. She's like, well, then why did you mix it then?
Yeah. Meanwhile, she knew, like,
yeah.
And she told her, like, I think, was it Nina drove because Cassie was, I mean, because Molly was supposed to be able to drink and get closer to Will, because that was
exactly. So they had this plan and then flipped it on them because like circumstances changed and they wanted to make out in public or something. It's like, ugh, stop. Just paint centerpieces with your racist grandma and be a good person.
Okay. So if Becky Albertalli were to write another book in the same contemporary universe, what character would you want her to follow?
Ooh.
Which is hard because I would say Molly again.
Yeah, like you can't. Can we do like a Reed prequel? Would that count? Does that not count? I guess that's too close. Ooh, maybe like a fun prequel about like the moms before they like.
That would be fun.
That might be cute. Or like Olivia's pretty neat. Like I liked her, you know, artistic sense. I don't know. I don't really have an answer. Just rambling.
That's okay. Am I
distracting you from your?
No. Okay. Sorry. Alexa responded right before book club started. My favorite bookish candle.
Oh wait, did she get it?
Came out with yeah, she just got it too. Came out with a new candle, and anytime that happens, Alexa and I are like, "This candle's out," so I had to tell her, and then she just got it too, and it's a Lucian candle, and
it set up like a phone alert,
a note of pumpkins in it. So no, this was completely out of nowhere. She doesn't usually.
Oh, she didn't like tease it or anything?
No, it was like I signed on, and all of a sudden there was this Lucian candle that I needed in my life. But anyway, so. I know she actually is writing another book set in the universe, which I realized like right before. I want to say it's a character from Simon that she's writing about. Okay. Is it Libby? It's an L character.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so I think it's her. But so if it was somebody besides her,
she's pulling a real Stephanie Perkins here.
I know, I love it. If it was someone besides her, I think that I would probably want maybe a book. So Olivia wasn't my favorite character, but I feel like she has the potential to have a good story with.
Like you didn't get to know enough.
Yeah, like I was really glad that she broke up with her.
That dick bag.
Her horrible boyfriend broke up with her, but it was also really, really nice to see a character be like, I don't need a boyfriend. I'm not interested in having a boyfriend right now. Like, even though Reed
wanted. Oh, Molly's like, I don't get it. I don't think I'd ever.
Yeah. Well, but she also says, like, I wish that I could be that person. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I just need a man. Like, I liked that she went there with her. So I feel like I would like to see her story continue just to find out, like, what happens next for her. I want to
get together with Reed's friend,
Douglas.
Thomas.
Okay. How many stars did you give to The Upside of Unrequited, and would you recommend it to other readers?
I gave it 5 stars. I would have read it straight through if I didn't stumble upon a quart of Wings and Ruin at Target. I had to kind of put it aside because I needed to start this, but once I got back, it was just so good. It was just like I was so worried it couldn't ever be as good as Simon was, but like I think I loved it even more.
I think I did too, which I was not expecting, and I don't know if it's because I read Simon a year and a half ago, so it's not as fresh in my memory, because I remember loving Simon so much. But I also just really loved this one. So
he just writes characters so beautiful. I'd recommend it to anyone. It's springtime. Read a contemporary.
Yeah,
it's fun if you're into like, you know, more fantasy. There's like, you know, Lord of the Rings jokes and Game of Thrones references, and
there are definitely more geeky references in Simon though. We talk about like Doctor Who and anime and like all that kind of stuff. But it's still like, this was just so perfect.
It's so cute. It's the perfect spring, nice weather book.
Yeah. I also gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I would recommend it to anyone who is alive.
Anyone?
It was great.
What about Racist Grandma? Would you recommend giving it to a racist grandma?
I would, because maybe she would learn something from it.
Right. She would learn a valuable, valuable lesson.
Yeah. I thought it was perfect. So I think that brings us to the end of the show. But before we go, we have to announce the May book, which we already announced in the last one, but we'll announce it again.
Wait, did we?
We did.
I was really drunk at the end of the last book club.
Well, we were like, everyone knows, so we'll just say it. But you can say it again since you have it.
I'm going to make the
well, Cassie's already read like more than half of it, and I'm very jealous. But
250 pages left.
You have 50 pages left?
250.
Oh, I was like, what? Did you sleep?
I'm like, here. I have been getting up early because I've been so busy. I helped my friend move yesterday, and then today I had to see my friend's new house. So it's just been like fitting it in where I can fit it in. And I'm going to finish it tonight. I don't care what happens. I'm going to finish it tonight.
Yeah, Andrew was like, do you think that you're going to talk to Cassie for 5 hours again after book club? And I was like, I would bet that Cassie's going to want to read. So I'm going to
read. Maybe not 5 hours, maybe like a 1 or 2 or 3, but
yeah, so we're both really looking forward to it. I would also say that chances are we will probably have an earlier live show in May, because you're already almost done with it. I know I'm going to read it like immediately. So
I have a feeling we might be joined again by Melissa.
I was also thinking that too, but time will tell.
No promises.
Yeah,
Melissa will be back.
So I think that's everything that we have. Again, just reminder, our Goodreads group is linked down below if you want to join that. Our hashtag, if you want to talk about it on like Twitter, or even if you want to tweet it at one of us too, that works.
Even like, you don't have to do it on live show day. You can do it like before live show day.
Yeah. Or
like while you're reading along.
And you tweet us afterward, we will still respond to you. And yeah, so do you want to tell us where we can find you?
You can find me on the internet where great books are sold as Yerkmonger, which is a Lord of the Rings joke. That is YRCHMONGER. I am mostly on Instagram, Goodreads. Sometimes I pop into Twitter, but stay away if you don't want to see cute animals or complaints about Donald Trump. Is there one else that I really like? I don't know anymore. Or you can go to my book blog, Bibliomantics.
Yes. And I am Kristen. I am here on this YouTube channel as Super Space Chick. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram as Super Space Chick. Goodreads as, I think, Kristen Hackett, which is my maiden name.
I think you can search by...
You can see Super Space Chick, yeah. And
you are still Hackett on there.
I am.
Yeah.
I decided to keep my maiden name online.
It's a pen name, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think that's everything. And we will see you guys next month to talk about A Court of Wings and Ruin if we're not dead by the events that occur.
So far, so good, guys. I haven't cried tears of sadness yet.
Well, it's coming because she told us that there's.
Oh, I know. I don't know who's dead. I don't know who's gonna die. I don't know yet.
I don't want it to happen to anyone, but
Someone's gonna die.
oh, it's gonna be so sad. Okay, well, we will see you guys next month. We'll let you know when the show is, and have a good night.